Good morning, everyone. I'm Melanie Christopher along with Byron Brown, and we are here at Northminster Baptist Church to honor the life and legacy of Senator Thad Cochran.
That's right. He is his body just arrived here at the church, and his motorcade just got here at the church where his service for his funeral will begin at 11 o'clock. They just pulled up to the front of the church right now from the Capitol. So it was a escort that took about 10-15 minutes to get from the state capitol to here, where he spent the last 24 hours in the rotunda, where the public got a chance to view him for several hours yesterday after memorial service that happened there, where the governor, lieutenant governor, and the House Speaker spoke and honored him yesterday. It
was a beautiful memorial service, and that followed what happened in Oxford, which was he was there in Oxford for a memorial at the law school where he graduated.
Right, his visitation there was on Sunday, so this has been 3 days of honoring and remembering the late senator who spent 45 years representing the state of Mississippi, first as a congressman, then as a senator. And a lot of talk was about how he was just an ordinary man who went to Washington to help Mississippians. It wasn't about him, but it was about helping Mississippians, and how he reached across the aisle to help both sides, the Democrats and Republicans. And it wasn't, and that was his big trademark, that he was somebody who was very special.
I've been calling him the people's senator, because I think that's what he was for 45 years. To be reelected and reelected, that says that you're working for all the people.
The 10th longest serving senator in the United States, Thad Cochran was, and how people remembered. He was honored in Washington too by Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, the two senators there, who gave him a great eulogy there and speaking about him yesterday on the Senate floor. So this is someone who has a long legacy and very much respected and remembered by all of Washington, and also right here in Mississippi as well. Like I said, his casket just got here in the motorcade. He will be taken into the church from the front of the church. They're taking him out now, as you can see here, that they just pulled up to the front of the church. They'll take him in. There's an elevator in the church that will take him up into the sanctuary where the service will begin. We're on the side of the church here, where people have been starting to walk into it. So people have been filing in since about 10 o'clock.
They have the parking lot, and it's a large parking lot here at Northminster Baptist Church, which is just off Lakeland on Ridgewood Road, and many people coming. We have seen, we saw Congressman Greg Harper. Locally, we have seen people. We know, though, that there will be some folks from Washington, of course, here too.
Right. Senator Patrick Leahy, a Democrat, will be speaking, as long as Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, who will also speak, the Republican. They'll be giving the part of the eulogies that they're speaking. So you got one Democrat, one Republican speaking. We're not sure how many other people from Washington might show up, but those two are definitely going to be keynote speakers and talking. And that was what he was all about. He was talking about bridging the gap in Washington, and Patrick Leahy was a good friend of his, who traveled with him quite a bit while he was in Washington.
That's right.
And that's something that people remember most.
And they said that he was the quiet persuader, and that was really, he didn't do things in front of a camera. He met with people away from the scene and talked. He was a talker and a persuader, and that's how things got done.
Right. And
I don't know that we see that as much anymore.
You don't see that. He was behind the scenes. He didn't spend a lot of time in front of the camera a lot. He didn't talk to us a whole lot. He was always a behind the closed doors kind of person who did his business quietly, but had a lot of influence and a lot of power. Candace Coleman is at the state capitol where the procession began this morning. She joins us now with more on what happened from there. Candace?
Melanie, Byron, the senators' hearse left here about 20 minutes ago, and they left from the state capitol here, followed by many caravans of family members and led by state troopers. Take a look at this video here. This is about 20 minutes ago, as I said. There was a 21-gun salute as they brought his body out of the state capitol. It lay in state overnight after yesterday's memorial service that we showed for everyone yesterday. Sailors were here. As you all know, he is a Navy veteran, so it was definitely a veteran's homegoing for him here at the state capitol. His family came out with that iconic folded flag that we know for families of veterans to be carrying during their funerals. So he left here, and as you all just showed, he just arrived at the funeral. It was a very somber moment here downtown Jackson. You could hear that 21-gun salute all throughout the downtown area here in Jackson. So I'm going to send it back to you all as you all prepare to show everyone the funeral that is about to happen for you all. Back to you all.
Thank you very much, Candace. Again, we are here at Northminster Baptist Church, where the funeral of Senator Thad Cochran will soon take place, expected to take place about 11. Still people arriving.
Still people arriving, and a large crowd that was here. We mentioned Greg Harper was one of the ones we saw. There's a lot of other dignitaries that are coming in. I saw a lot of friends and family that were at the church yesterday, at the Capitol yesterday here, but some people who were out of town are now here. We understand that Senator Roger Wicker is supposed to be here today. He was not here yesterday, but he's coming here today. Terrence Friday's at the front of the church, where they just brought Senator Cochran here. He joins us now more with what he's seen up from the front of the church. Terrence.
Family and friends just made their way inside of the church as they prepare to say their final goodbyes. Senator Thad Cochran had a far-reaching impact on people across the country, and a lot of those people are here today to say their final goodbyes and wish each other well as they try to move forward without him. We heard from some of those dignitaries who are now in mourning just yesterday as they also prepare to say goodbye.
When it comes to Thad Cochran, his legacy and his example are part of this place for good. His impact continues. His service still inspires all of us.
In many ways, Thad Cochran was a model senator. He understood this body's preference for cooperation, compromise, congeniality, almost intuitively. Even as the Senate has gone further away from those values, Senator Cochran held them close. That's just who he was. It made him a better senator and a better man. We'll miss him. I think all of us will. Our prayers go out today to his wife, Kay, his children, his loved ones, his many friends.
Now, a lot of people here obviously have been grieving for quite some time now. The services are just getting started. We will continue to have this coverage for you over the air and online. Live in Jackson, Terrence Friday, WJTV 12.
Well, thank you, Terrence. Now, they were told that the funeral is going to last probably about an hour going on, and it's a nice service that they have set up here.
It is. It's starting with, of course, a processional, A Mighty Fortress is Our God, and then, of course, the gathering and invocation, and then the congregational hymn, Amazing Grace.
Right.
That must have been one of his favorites.
Right. Then there'll be the lessons there, and then the pastoral prayer, and then there'll be some words of remembrance, and that's where you're going to hear probably the two senators speaking there. And then there'll be some gospel, and then you'll have the meditation, the homily, and the benediction, and we're told about an hour of that. Of course, we're having that going on, and then they'll wrap things up, and he'll be taken back to Oxford, where he'll be buried.
That's right.
And that will happen immediately after the service. That the procession will leave Jackson for Oxford, Mississippi. It
was good yesterday to see the family members. We were able, on the front row at the memorial service at the state capitol, his brother, Nielsen Cochran, former public service commissioner, and his wife, Connie Cochran, who for years led was the voting commissioner, election commissioner, for Hinds County. So she just recently retired not that long ago, and so it was good to see them. I had not seen them in a long time, and also his son and daughter and grandchildren were there, as well as his widow.
Right. So a lot of people yesterday were at the Capitol. A lot of people are here as well. The funeral is about to begin. We're going to take you inside to the church, and we will see you outside after the funeral wraps up. Now inside the church for Senator Thad Cochran's funeral.